Okay, so I'm just looking at the whole module here for the first assignment. By this point, when you get to this assignment, you should have gone through all of this. Remember to follow along through the module, and so I'm going to get to the first response. And the purpose of this screencast is just to get rolling. That's all we need to do right now. And so I already started writing a little bit, and so I'm going to go to, your reasons. And so I'm answering the prompt. How would I want to answer this prompt? So I would rather live in the Paleolithic era because people moved around more then and did not farm. So I grew up too close to a farm, right? So I'm saying now I don't want to farm. It sounds better to me to not have to stay in one place to make the food, right? Remember, this is one of the big distinctions for Paleolithic and Neolithic. So now I got to have reasons for the top. One of the reasons it's beneficial to not farm for food is that Paleolithic people had greater diversification in their diet. Okay, so that's a reason I have, but now, well, shoot. Now let's just say I'm stuck, or maybe I was stuck starting out. So the purpose of this chatbot is this. So make sure you hit this chat, and of course not to submit here. And you can see that what I've already asked it. I asked it for an assignment overview. Well, why? Because I just used some of these suggested prompts to start out with. I could have asked it to make an outline. We don't really have an introduction because these are opening with topic ideas and so forth. But summarize the instructions, prioritize feedback, organize feedback, or whatever you want to ask it. Right? So the purpose of this instructional AI is just to help you along the way. So I said, well, how can you help me with this? I have greater diversification, but now I'm stuck. Okay, consider these angles. Diet diversity. What specific foods did Paleolithic people? Well, whatever they found, right? So now I would go back and look, and so I'm thinking, well, what did we cover in the chapter and the screencast? Remember, you need to listen to the screencast along the way or watch them. How would I get evidence to support some of this? Right, physical health. And I'll just tell you, we don't have a whole lot about this in the chapter or screencast. Social structures, much more structured, hierarchical or orderly, like to the person with the most power at the top. You can make some hay out of this, right? Paleolithic groups, more egalitarian. People mattered more as equals, or they were equal more because everybody had to work. And you couldn't have too much of a hierarchy or a big power structure because of that, essentially. Leisure time. I do talk about this a little bit in the screencast. Right, some scholars think that hunter-gatherers. So this is assuming that they're in a relatively rich area. So I could go back and find that support. Right, personal appeal. So this is how I actually started because I know what it's like on to live on a. It's a lot of work, right? And so agricultural, all the stuff. I don't know if that appeals to me if I'm thinking to do it over again, right? Okay, and then I go from there, and then I would start writing more. I would ask it about it, ask this instructional AI about it, or about part of it. Maybe when I'm finishing, I say, does this answer make sense, or some other easy prompt along the way. And again, for this first screencaster, that we just need to get the ball rolling. We need to know where the button is, right? And make sure you're hitting the button and that they're using this. You're using this, and so I will have, an AI chatbot 1, 2, maybe 3 down the road where we start working on more specific things such as greater honing of the topic ideas, evidence integration, how to really get our reasons down along the way and so forth. But that's not the purpose of this particular screencast, just to get rolling. Okay.